The New England Patriots, the team that sold their souls for the dynasty and have been on a downward spiral ever since. The draft has not treated them well. They have struggled to get even average talent, let alone cornerstone superstar type players. Barmore is probably their closest bet to that, but as far as a superstar cornerstone, kind of like really good face of the franchise type player, they haven't had one of those in a little while. You think about every other team, even the Giants have a Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas. This team, they really don't have that. Of course, the team has been pretty competitive start of the year, starting Jacoby Brissett as their, QB. He is like the premier NFL backup quarterback, yet still won the job in camp, and more importantly, probably the guy that they're trying to use to protect Drake Maye a little bit, as the offensive line really just is in a terrible spot. And offense in general, outside of the run game, has really shown basically nothing. Hunter Henry obviously had himself a really nice game last week, but overall, they really haven't shown anything in the receiving game. The passing game has been very pedestrian, and once again, that offensive line has definitely struggled. This team is 1-1 and very competitive at 1-1 because of the run game and the defense. The defense has had a pretty good start as well. Obviously, you do have a couple of decent overalls, but once again, would you call any of these guys superstars? Probably not. Jelani Tavai is, a decent overall. Maybe we can keep him long-term. Jabril Peppers is pretty good for the most part, but yeah, as far as those superstar players, you're kind of just missing out on those guys. Not really seeing it. This is a weird kind of 3-4 hybrid defense where, you got Jelani at left out, Uche at right out. You're hoping Uche is the pass rush guy, but as far as like Tavai goes, can he really like get to the quarterback? Not really, but this is how the team is lined up. The first year or two, I usually let the AI kind of, the base depth chart, the base playbooks kind of just settle out, and whatever happens, and maybe it is actually goated, and then I start changing things around if need be. But yeah, this is a team starting at the bottom barrel, and I know last rebuild we did was the Rams, I believe, where I called them the toughest team to rebuild. I would easily argue, though, that this team is obviously in a better spot. Drake May's not starting here for us, but at some point, I imagine he'll play a little bit in real life. So if we see Jacoby has just been playing absolutely dog, I will make that argument that Drake Maye starts. You obviously have 2-star rookie, dev wide receivers. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you have a couple of youngsters. In general, when you have a quarterback like Drake Maye, in Madden at least, you gotta automatically give them some respect because they have the toughest position basically down. This is a player that will develop automatically because he's young and has star dev. And if you end up enjoying the video, maybe develop the like button by pressing it. Subscribe if you're new. We do a ton of franchise stuff here on the channel. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, Pkr Plays for non-Madden content. Definitely want to get into some more of that. Maybe by the end of the week. I know it's already basically the end of the week, but maybe into the weekend, whatever. Regardless, let's get into this Patriots rebuild. Also kind of gives us a little bit of an insight potentially into our franchise series, which we're, halfway through season 2 now, and see if we have a kind of Super Bowl window to beat. Maybe we win a Super Bowl here in this rebuild, year 3 or 4, and we're like, okay, can we beat that in our franchise? We'll see. But of course, also the Patriots playing tonight. See if Aaron Rodgers can beat the Patriots. All right, it's re-sign time. Of course, Josh Uche, the whole kind of 1-year low contract was to see if they can get something out of him. And I'm going to say halfway through the year with a half a sack doesn't look super great. Jonathan Jones, he usually does last a bit longer than an extra year, so we're going to go for that 1 extra year. KJ Osborne, cool dude, no thanks. Sorry, just progression's not going to be there. David Andrews, I think he's going to be gone as well. Jacoby Brissett, once again, premier backup in the league. Why not? I'm glad he wants more than that. He probably should. Dedrick Wise, he's 30 years old. And yeah, just a lot of elderliness. I guess Sly we give a 2-year deal to. But yeah, there's just not a lot of guys that you really want to re-sign from this team. And I don't think anyone's surprised that we did not have a great year. We did not make the playoffs. And my day is ruined. Did start Drake Maye because Jacoby was looking really bad, I got to say. Polk for a while was actually in the top 3 for yards. Seems to have dropped off since then. But let's take a look at the season. We technically won more games with Drake Maye, I suppose. Better ratio. But let's take a look at the stats and awards, see how Drake finished. Touchdown to pick ratio wise, he was positive. It was still better than Jacoby without a doubt, but not by much. Not by much, of course. Rookie versus, NFL veteran. Ramondre Stevenson, just under 1,000 yards is painful, but 4 yards per carry is great. Gibson basically has this many yards in real life already. Touchdowns in general low for both sides of the game, on offense, pass and run. Receiving Polk was decent, over 1,000 yards for a rookie's great. 6 touchdowns. Doesn't look like he's on par for that in real life, so that's, a little bit of a step up. Demario Douglas in the slot, pretty good at 830 yards from the slot, 5 touchdowns. Baker, 6 touchdowns, 600 yards. Henry, 644 with 2 touchdowns, definitely on par for that in real life. Pretty lackluster numbers, but also kind of expected. O-line, the tackles were really bad. And then looking at the defense, Tavai with over 100, well, not really over 100 tackles on the nose. Then Bentley at 114. Sacks with 5, second most on the entire team. Gotta say, even though the edge isn't great here, you gotta kind of figure out your identity. Are you a 3-4? Are you a 3-4 hybrid? I mean, this team wants to be 3-4 hybrid, but I don't know if we really have the talent for that. I'm glad we paid Sly to miss like 30% of his kicks. One was blocked, but that's not an excuse. Punting, Behringer was pretty good. Award wins, Drake May. Could he have won Rookie of the Year? Sure. Will he have? I highly doubt it. And it goes to Keon Coleman. Drake May was all the way at 8. Definitely not going to win any awards here, which is unexpected or unfortunate, but obviously expected. Winner of the Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Chiefs, super original matchup, is the Philadelphia Eagles. They had themselves a damn good season. A couple of guys in the top tier of lists for stats offensively, at least. Retirements, this team is pretty damn old, so there could be some for us that are actually of starting caliber. We do lose our long snapper, but that's about it. 10 years as a long snapper is like, I mean, what a goated career, right? I mean, that's just, no CTE for him, I'd imagine. Looking at the offensive skill talent, 82 overall for Stevenson, 76 overall for Polk, 76 overall for May, 75 overall for Baker, 77 overall for Douglas. Offensive line, you really just have one long-term guy, and that's on Onwenu. So we definitely need to go hard on the O-line if we can early. The quicker we can get some starters, the quicker we can develop those guys. Barmore didn't start him because I don't know what's going on with him in real life in his blood clot situation. So I just didn't start him. I wanted to, and obviously we have in our Patriots franchise, but in this rebuild, I wanted to keep it as realistic as possible. And I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but yeah, the team needs a lot of work. We're regressing more than we are progressing, which is definitely a bad sign. We need just so many different players. It's going to be a long one. And we have a chance to work on some offseason stuff. We're going to go with Ramondre Stevenson, obviously. The left tackle is super backup. I mean, he really should not be a starter, but he was. Let's take a look at where we're going to be working on. Ramondre, what are you focusing on during the workouts? I should have waited. I didn't even hear what he said. Work on speed, agility, and acceleration instead? Yeah. How about that? What is he going to say? No. It'll impress your oh, no. No one expects you to do that. Being faster makes you unstoppable. Just think of the views on social media. I don't know what his personality is. I'm going to guess team player. Oh, God. Like, do they really expect you to look at... I'm not going to click that. That's the one where you think you're going to win the draft, huh? You think you're going to draft the 1580 overalls, huh, chump? It's like, no, I'm not going to click on that. But yeah, like, do they expect me to know the personality traits of every player? Uche, I mean, he is our best bet at edge, but I just don't see it. I'm going to let him go. I'm going to carry all this money in the offseason and have no one to pay because there's going to just be no talent in free agency, as per usual. Unless you want an old offensive lineman. Free agency is usually pretty dry, but if there's somebody there, I'm going to go for him. We got the money. Chase Young, welcome to the team. Chase Young probably wouldn't want to join us, but you know what? I don't know if he has much of a choice. I don't know. I mean, he obviously has the choice. No way he goes back to Washington, dude. That would be the most unrealistic thing we've had in a rebuild, like, all Madden so far. Other options, pretty much all elderly men, unfortunately, so... yeah, other than maybe like a veteran-type offensive lineman. It might just be Chase Young that we're kind of going for. Amari Cooper would be a nice little addition, but by the time we actually develop into a Super Bowl caliber team, he'll be gone anyways. You could argue maybe he can help Drake May develop now, But yeah, as far as like the end goal, I don't see it. O-line, though, we definitely cannot go into the draft with just the offensive line we have. We need to add somebody. Garrett Bowles would be a great addition, I think. Ryan Kelly wouldn't be terrible either. I'm going to go for Ryan Kelly as well. We've got a lot of money. Don't need to be tied in long term. 1 or 2 years is perfectly fun. And, I mean, we're in there. Our name is on, in the ticket. It's in the hat. Will we actually get him? I don't know. It's a completely different story. D-line, I mean, we need pretty much everything. We really need Chase Young, like, super bad. But what can you actually do to, like, improve your chances? Nothing? I mean, I'm willing to do $30 million per year. I mean, that's low end anyways for an edge rusher, especially in the open market. So a 3-year 90 is kind of where I'm at. I mean, it's like almost literally full on max. So I don't know what else they want from me. I kind of want Clowney as well. He's kind of a similar type player to Chase Young. And then cornerback, I mean, we could use some players, but they're all kind of on the older side. No real progression chance here. Safety, I think we're fine at the moment. Yeah, those are the players I want. 2 linemen and a defensive lineman. Please, Chase. Please. Yes, that is even Ryan Kelly. Okay. Not bad. Really good group of free agents. We also went even more veteran-heavy Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is here, even though he is definitely regressed in speed. All right, we're officially in the draft. We have pick 3 overall. It's definitely a weird position to have without the need of quarterback. Apparently, the Cardinals are moving on from Kyler. I don't know what's going on there. I didn't really look at the main screen here, but apparently there's a top 5 tackle. 42 bench press reps with a lot of A's. Would that be a generational player? 6'8" on top of it? Possibly, but can I make the argument to take a tackle? Pick 3 overall? Probably not. Oh, wow. I scouted this wide receiver further because he had some potential. Oh, his key ratings suck, though. But top 5 can't be wrong. We don't really need wide receiver, but Javon Baker as a 3 or 4 could be goated. I don't know if you could pass on a top 5 projection, though, right? Not even projection, true talent. I don't know, but of course we do need edge. There's a lot of different options. Duval is one of them. A finesse move, really fast, looks great. Then we have outside linebackers, which I don't think I got to scout as closely. So we're obviously going to be taking a little bit more of a risk for some of these guys. A finesse, we know that, but that's like kind of all we know. And then, of course, we have Noel, another, outside linebacker type. He's got some speed, another A finesse with B block shed, round 1 talent. And then we, of course, have Curtis, Casey Curtis, who is a 6'4" guy with a lot of speed, A finesse. Because of that speed, he'd probably be like the number 1 guy on my list. I think we can probably move this pick down, though, to like 7 and still land an edge rusher. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to move down as like close to 6 or 7 as possible to gain that extra draft pick, which should still be pretty damn lucrative, and then still end up with an edge rusher. I also don't have to make the decision at that rate. The worst case scenario is I take the worst player, but I ended up getting more value than I would have because obviously, well, I would not have been able to get a single draft pick sitting at 3. But yeah, we will have to take a look at that tackle. I just think even unless I could physically guarantee he's a generational lineman, wow, the Vikings have nothing going on here, huh? That is kind of crazy. But unless I could physically guarantee that it's a generational lineman, I just don't think you risk that. It's just too much to risk. This hardly seems worth it, but we end up giving up a 5th, 3 7ths this year, a 5th next. Did I say 5th in the first? The first. And so to grab 8 and 40 from Houston, it's a huge jump from Houston. They really didn't have to give up much. And is that the tackle that we actually were looking at? It might have been. Edge is looking really good so far because the players that we're looking at weren't even the guys that I wanted. I don't think a single one of the edge rushers I was looking at actually went, by the way. Let that be known. I'm almost certain they're all still here, which, I mean, it makes me just want to trade down even more because I have no idea who's the best is. I might go for whoever the guy was that had, I think there was a B finesse, or a B power and a block shed with an A finesse. Was it Morales? He's 22 years old, 4'6". No, it was not him. One of these guys had the things I just said. Is it Noel who's 6'2", though? Oh, it's him. I might try to trade down again, actually. I've got like 4 edge rushers. If I can move down to to the Colts and get even like a 4th round pick, I'm willing to do it, I think. They needed a slight nudge to get us to give us that 3rd round pick, which I'm willing to do, 4 spots down. Could screw ourselves out of an edge rusher. I think I had 5 names, though. They take Curtis, which was one of our names. Wide receiver saves us automatically. Wide receiver definitely saves us automatically. And then Duval goes. So now it thins out a little bit. We still have more options than I'm really aware of taking. But this does make it a little bit easier as we're now down to 2 names. Morales and Noel. My mind's telling me Morales, and my body's telling me Morales, to be honest. I'm not really sure what I want to do here. Is Noel, we know more about guaranteed. But I think the potential of Morales might just be a little bit better. A pursuit as well. I think I'm going to take Morales. 6'5", 461. I just like the size. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I think we've done it. I think we've done it. Noel goes right after us. Oh, no. I might have sold. We got a lot of trade value, though. What do we get? A 2nd and a 3rd? Both pretty high. It's going to be pretty nice. I'm going to obviously trade up for the wide receiver, I think. Booth. 1 to 2 could literally go anywhere. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. The Packers need wide receiver. Titans. I think we make the move here. We are absolutely destroying our future, but we make that trade up with the Titans to grab, I believe, this wide receiver. There was also a really sick corner. I mean, it's a lot of sick corners, in fairness. They're freaking goated. Also, the DTs. Let's take a look at these guys. I didn't look at these round 1 guys because I typically don't draft that high. Shepard is pretty damn good, though, I gotta say. I don't draft DT that high, so, I kind of just glanced over them. But if they're there in the 20s, it's a completely different story. They are good, but I don't think they're good enough, right? Cornerback, there are some pretty good corners here, but I think you can go with McGill in the 2nd if you do want to go corner, which I suppose we do. Gotta go for this wide receiver, though. Even if I didn't really need wide receiver, it'd be hard to pass on him. As a top 5 talent grade, tells you he's in the mid-70s, 75 plus probably. So Marquis Booth is going to be the choice. True talent of 5, A+ pick, normal dev. Automatically, though, if he is that, 75 overall plus range, he will be wide receiver 2, I think. And we now move on to 8 in the 2nd round, where we might actually take that corner right then and there. Pick 3 in the 3rd round is our next pick. So, not as deep of a class as I thought we had, realistically, is what I'm kind of pointing at here, unfortunately. Cornerback McGill is still there. Safety, also kind of a need. I think I'm going to take McGill, though. I think, an A-man coverage, B-press, B-zone with some speed at 6'3" is too good to pass on, so I'm going to grab him. True talent grade of 8. Finally a hidden. Thank you. And we are now in the 3rd round with pick number 3. Pick 10 is the next pick. Sanchez is the safety. We had him on our list. That is an interesting. Hilton, I thought this said way worse than this. He's a 2 to 3 guy. Might have to take him early 4th. That might be our move. Unfortunately, we got rid of our early 4th, so if we want him, we're going to have to do another trade up. Safety is a need. Not necessarily a need that we have to fill right now. We could easily do another season without it. But you do have 2 really good options in Roland and Womack. So I do want to take a look. Nick Roland, almost called him Nick Womack. Very athletic. B zone coverage. Okay. It's actually really solid looking. Can't lie. And then we have Womack, who is named Waltz. Not as fast, but also very solid. I don't know. They look good, though, I gotta say. I think you go O-line first, though. I really like Overton. He's huge, so he could be a generational type. Bench reps, only 33, though. James Overton, he's going to be our pick at 3. 35, normal. Oh, my God. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Pick 10 in the 3rd round. We do not have any other picks outside of this. Jose Middlebrooks look really good, too, as a middle linebacker. I definitely want the day 3 tight end, without a doubt. I need a DT, sort of, kind of, actually quite a bit. 2 to 3, though. A finesse is solid looking. Oh, he's really fast. I got to take him. That is crazy speed. 76 true talent, but hidden dev. It's a good pick. We need more O-line, but you know what? We had a pretty good offseason for O-line, free agent-wise, so I think we can get away with, what we've got. And I do want that tight end, so I will be trading up with the Raiders, I think, if I can afford it. We know the Raiders like their shorter corners, so a 5th round and Marcus Jones over to that Raiders team. We're going to end up using Jonathan Jones, I think, in the slot with McGill being number 2. And looking at the picks, I think we're going to be going with Hilton. I think Hilton is the best available pick. He's a 2-3 guy. If he's hitting dev, he's starting. Let's just be real. He's 100% starting. 73 overall, and he's hitting. He's starting. He has to. I'm sorry, Henry. Had a good year. It's happening just like our Patriots franchise. It just has to happen. All right, I think it was a pretty good draft. Unfortunately, though, there was a lot of normal devs. The wide receiver was a 77 overall, though. Morales, we got to compare him to the other edge rushers, but we would not have had as deep of a draft class if we would have just taken someone at 3. So far, I'm not hating it. Alfonso Morales, he's going to be a great teammate to Chase Young. A couple of dev ups, and he'll be a cornerstone piece. I don't know what number we want to put him at. Let's put something in the 90s, I guess, because the 50s aren't really working out for us. 94 is a sick edge rusher number, so why not? Then we move over to Booth, who looks way better than his actual key ratings were telling us. Release a little iffy, but the route running's great. Catching's pretty damn good. Has all the catching traits. Injuries and stamina is great. Decent catching, like I said, and a very high overall. So wide receiver 2 gets Rookie of the Year, and he's the highest overall on the team by a long shot. McGill, what a great man coverage corner. Obviously, pretty damn fast for 6'3" on top of it. See that dev. See if we can make up for the lack of devs with high devs. Oh, we can for the first guy. Superstar X Factor from McGill. Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty good player. Overton wasn't bad, but unfortunately he was normal dev. Then we have Kyle Bennett. Finesse move. I'm telling you, I feel superstar. The lower the strength, the DT, the higher the dev. I don't know what it is. It just feels like that. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just feel it. The lower the strength, the higher the dev. At least at the DT spot. That's really the way I see it almost every time. Hilton, 72 overall, not the best. Fast enough, but really nothing crazy spectacular. Got to get that 87 off him. It's just not. It's just, hold on. Wait a minute. Give me a sec. Well, hold on. And I think Brackett was generational. Very good pass blocking. I mean, very good blocking of every sort except for run block finesse. Did we make a mistake? Arguably. Yeah, I mean, he is generational without a doubt, but was that more important than all the other moves we made? Probably not, right? Curtis was, I think, the first edge rusher that we had on our board that went, of course, better than our guy, but normal dev. Is he multiple picks higher than where we were, meaning less trade down value? You know, that 3rd round pick gone, which we used to trade up for Booth, I believe. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he's worth it. Duval, Isaiah Duval, also normal dev. Once again, better than our guy as well, but still, normal dev is all that matters in this argument. Unfortunately, another kind of bad player there. Of course, looking at Noel, he's going to be the hidden, isn't he? Of course he is. The guy that had the most proven talent is going to be the guy with hidden dev. I thought it was just, a ploy. It was a trick. And of course it wasn't. Please be only star. Okay, I can live with it. I can live with only star. Was there anyone else? I think that might have been it. Unless there was some other DN Duval we already looked at. Curtis we looked at. Yeah, I mean, there really wasn't much of a decision to be made because, well, it just wasn't many devs up there. Unfortunately. I'll take some damn linebacker depth. Kendrick Bourne to the Niners for a 5th and James Williams. All right, I'm a 10, so I really pushed myself and made a ton of progress. He didn't get speed, excel, or agility, but really good upgrades. 5 ball carrier vision, 3 to truck, 3 to juke move, and 6,000 XP for Ramondre Stevenson. Here is the Season 2 team. We have definitely mixed in, some youth with some older veteran presence players from free agency. Some of the biggest names were obviously Ryan Kelly and Garrett Bowles. On the defensive side, we had Chase Young added to the team. And I got to say, this storyline of Ramondre working hard in the offseason is actually pretty massive. He goes up from, I think, an 82 overall to an 85 overall just from the upgrades he had. We're definitely going to need to replace him because he's already 27 years old, but at least for now, he does look really good. The trucking, the stiff arm, the juke move looks really solid in fairness. So hopefully we at least have a pretty good run game. Over 4 yards per carry would be great. He had 4 last season, so he's better now. You would assume he would do only better. Better offensive line as well, and the receiving options are better. And then look at the defensive side of the ball. Definitely a much higher ceiling team. You got Chase Young at a true talent at edge now. You actually have that kind of superstar Morales, it'll take Rookie of the Year if he wins it to really glow up. So I'm hoping he does win Rookie of the Year. Obviously, DTs are pretty good. Corners are amazing. Obviously, we have a top 5 duo at corner coming down the line. Obviously, not just yet, but 2 years from now in Sim, you would assume will be a top 5 duo team at corner. Safety, I'm putting Marte Mapu in because he is just younger than Duggar, and Duggar's zone coverage is really bad. Linebackers are good, but they're obviously, they're at their peak. They're not going to get much better, and they're only going to start regressing. So I definitely need to put a lot of emphasis in the next draft at linebacker, I think. Still a long ways to go, but we've definitely made ourselves a pretty decent roster for year 2. Will we make the playoffs? Maybe. Probably not, but definitely should be a lot better than pick 3 overall. So far, so not good. The offense has looked pretty bad. Jonathan Jones could get a contract extension. Everyone else, though, I think is kind of past their prime and only getting worse. 91 mil. Might have to bring in some new talent in the offseason again. I get it, right? Tough division. Not the best roster still. Changed the offensive scheme, and it did not matter. We had an even worse season somehow than last year. 2-15. I can't believe it. I genuinely can't believe we were worse than last year. We obviously had a better team. It wasn't even close. Even had a better scheme. We went with the Rams schemes. I wanted to get Booth to, win Rookie of the Year, which I don't know if he actually did or not, but really disappointing one. I mean, Drake May was, very arguably worse than last year, right? What was the passer rating difference? Completion percentage 3% worse. Under 60% is just, it's horrible. That's just really, really bad. Looking at the rushing, it was worse for sure. Booth, wait. He had I swear he had 600 yards by week 10, and he had 200 yards afterwards. Touchdowns are good, though. Maybe Rookie of the Year, probably not, though. Bowles was horrible, giving up 18 sacks. 2 guys over 100 tackles, but both of them are rather old. I guess Jelani is worth it. Morales, maybe a Rookie of the Year win. Chase Young, not worth it, apparently. Bennett was all right for a rookie. Gonzalez was great, could go to Superstar, which definitely would help that take of having a top 5 corner duo in the future. 32nd offense, that's super fun. Rookie of the Year, or not Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year on the offense goes to Josh Reynolds. Rookie of the Year, thankfully, does go to Booth. We needed that desperately. Morales, Rookie of the Year, needed that desperately. Quarterback, obviously not there. Running back, obviously not there. Wide receiver, probably just barely missed it because touchdowns do play a huge factor. No to O-line, no to D-line, no to linebacker. DB at 6, kicker at 6. Another really ass season. Even worse than last year. First pick overall. Do you actually maybe not see Drake May as the franchise? I'm kind of half tempted. I'm pretty sure there was a really damn good overall quarterback last draft. It's 80 plus, wasn't he? So, I pick 1 overall. If you see a guy that you think is generational, I don't think I decline that. I think I trade Drake May off to someone else that's more patient, maybe. But as of right now, that's not the plan. But we always pivot. We always go for best available. And of course, by that I mean best available decision, not best available pick. Whatever the best play is, that's what we're going to do. The Bills win the Super Bowl. At least it's kind of different. Bills versus the Niners. Niners have been in a lot, but they haven't really won. So, sort of different even if they won. But let's take a look at the dev-ups. We do see Booth goes to star, which, it's a little lackluster. I was kind of hoping he would have had just a super glow-up season. Kind of like Patton in that Rams rebuild. I think that's what his name was. But he's really good at route running. Release isn't so bad. Catching is definitely a little lackluster, but he's still great. Goes a star dev. We're number 82. It's just a Patriots way of just having the most random numbers ever. Drake May barely went up in overall. Defensively, Bennett goes to X Factor. McGill was already an X Factor. Morales jumps from normal to superstar. What a year he had. That is sweet. But also, unfortunately, Gonzalez doesn't go to superstar, which I thought he was going to. A lot more stuff to develop, obviously, but yeah, we had some dev-ups. For a 2-15 season, it definitely could have been so much worse. Re-signing of players. We have Gonzalez, 5th-year option. You just re-sign him. Bentley, it's not bad money, but I just think we could do better in free agency anyways. Jonathan Jones, why not? Jonathan Jones is just that guy. He's just that guy. Who else? Cole Strange, we could do better. Tyquan Thornton, no. James Williams, no. Garrett Bowles was horrible for us. And yeah, we're moving on from all these players. I guess William Golson, if he wants to join back on no guarantee, I'm down because he's got mentor. But yeah, it's head of free agency with quite a bit in the salary cap department. really just, kind of focus back on that offensive line if possible, and then a linebacker would not hurt. Mark Andrews is nice. Don't really need him. Quarterback is nice. Kind of need him, but Purdy should not be a free agent, so that's, kind of where my head's at there. Corner, we just don't need. Pass rusher, we just don't need. Unfortunately, not looking great for our needs. We need O-line more than anything, and I'm just not seeing it. Like, Garrett Bowles is your best option, and after last year, nobody wants him. That is crazy. Rasheed Walker's here, and his ask isn't crazy. I suppose $14 million per year for a tackle is on the low end. He's really our only option, and we need a lot of linemen, so I'm willing to go for him, I suppose. And then just fill the rest with rookies, if possible. Off-ball linebacker is also extremely weak. Do you not go back to Bentley? He's got interest, obviously, to rejoin us. Very raw player, but I don't think we're going to be able to fill multiple linebacker spots in the draft. I'd be willing to do a 2-year 16, I think. Anything more, I think, is just, it's not worth it. He's good, but he's not great. And then we don't need anything else, so I'm going to skip ahead here. It seems like somebody signed with us. Rasheed Walker, kind of expected. And I have no idea what happened with Bentley. Someone else is going to go for him. The Panthers. Fair enough. See you later. All right, here we are, as expected, with the first pick overall. And I do have to admit, there are some solid-looking quarterbacks. Do you replace Drake May this early, though? I don't see how you physically can. I really don't. So this is likely going to be a trade down. Any of these guys could be, quote-unquote, generational, as they're both top 5 talents. I don't think they will be. Bird, maybe. He's got the elite throw power, pretty damn fast. Acceleration is terrible, though. Speed, I really wonder how fast he is, because that 4.67 looks good, but that left side is telling me it is not. So if we're going to make a trade here, which we likely are, this is going to have to be very lucrative. I'm trying to think of like what we really, really need. Off-ball linebacker wouldn't hurt. DT, sort of. Barmore's not the best long-term wise. He's like 27 now. He's not that high of an overall. He's 81, but his contract is really high. I mean, we need off-ball more than anything, but do you trade a first pick overall for off-ball? I doubt it. Maybe like a proven running back? I don't really know. Wide receiver, I think we're fine with. Jalen Polk with Booth and, whoever's at 3, I think is perfectly fine. Tight end, it'll develop. I don't know. I really don't like the fact that the needs we have aren't like premier needs, right? We don't technically need a QB. We don't technically need wide receiver. We don't technically need edge. Don't need corner. It's like positions that we can, sort of get decent players for, like safety and off-ball linebacker and whatnot. We obviously need to trade this down. I don't really even know if I have a preference of where to, like how far it needs to be. I want a proven player, debatably, but I also don't want to pay like top dollar for, a safety. What about John Stump? I don't even know if they're starting this guy. What about John Stump? Pick 20. Man, I don't really like these trades, though. The fact that I aimed ridiculously high and actually almost made the trade is kind of crazy. Like, I aimed high because I just wanted to make sure I wasn't getting too little. It kind of seems like I might not be getting too little at all. And here it is. A first this, a first next, a second this. Superstar safety Stump and Paris Johnson for pick 1 overall. We could have probably gotten more, but the Cardinals, they're definitely a team that, you don't really know which way they're going to go. That'd be crazy if they go QB when they already did. And they go edge. I really don't know if I have a need this high. Safety's kind of on my list. You could also go corner to put that there. Even with Stump, I think we could still go safety. So we'll see what we want to do exactly there. I'm always about that, best available type of pick situation. Got ourselves a really fast receiving type back there. Definitely could go for that position, but meh. Was also going to potentially go running back for our trade that we just, kind of made. But I didn't really think that was a position of, like, not need, but a position that we could really get someone that was going to be long-term worth it. It was going to cost us a lot if we wanted it. But as far as what we want to do here, there's some pretty good corners that could play safety. But you also do have the true safety in McKenzie 1-2. Might be worth making this play. Man coverage is good. I'm going to take Chris McKenzie. I like this pick. True Town 15. And he's hidden. That's the toughest thing about these safeties, is getting hidden dead. This guy looked great. He really did. B-man, B-zone, fast. Just a really solid-looking player. We have pick 1 in the second round. Once again, do we really need anything so badly outside of off-ball linebacker? Probably not. Got our safeties fixed, which is great. Carr is an interesting one. I wish we would have scouted these running backs further because, we actually do kind of need a running back pretty bad. What about this guy? Hayden looks insane. 2-3, 22 years old. Speed's not really there, but the trucking and stiff arm is just ridiculous. I actually think if I'm going to go on anyone, it's going to be Josh Sanders. He's pretty good truck, stiff arm, break tackle, carrying. He's not the fastest, but I do like him. I think he's actually not bad. 88, 89 speed maybe could be the future running back. Pick one in the second round, though. Speaking of, not really needing much up here. I think we're going to trade down. All right, pick one in the second round for the last pick in the second, third, and fourth rounds. Pretty damn even value, I would say. What do the Bills want so desperately that they needed to trade up for him? And it was a lineman. Going to go to 60. Oh, no, actually not 64. We're going to go to 20 in this round. Maybe we take someone, we'll see. I suppose if we're going to go with offensive line, this is not a bad selection. Chad McGavin, he's 1 of 2 talent grade. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm going to take him anyways. 29 true talent. Hidden dev. I don't know why I thought normal. As soon as it showed 29, I thought normal. He looked great. He was a good pick. We have pick 32 here. Then we have pick 1 in the next round. We need all the linebackers we can get, so we might start taking some here. We have a true middle linebacker in Ben Ford. Those guys are usually the most balanced types. Usually have a decent block shed and coverage ratings, which can't say I agree with that this time around. I think Malone might be the best, but ironically enough, he's a day 3. Interesting. What about McCallum? Coverage is okay. Block shed's pretty good. 22 years old. Very athletic. I guess we'll go D'Angelo McCallum. 25 true talent. Hidden dev. There you go. Another, kind of hit or miss position when it comes to devs. That's a good pick. And I think because of the day 3 in Malone, I actually am going to go Vaughn here. George Vaughn. He looks great. Another hidden. 26 true talent. That's a dub. This has been a great draft so far. We also have future draft picks on the way. At 32, we're going to likely go with the linebacker. You know what? I completely forgot about pick 1 in the 4th round. I should not have went there. I could have probably landed another talented player. Oh, and I completely forgot about running back as well. Damn. What about Lehman? Don Lehman. He doesn't look as good as our other guy. He's pretty fast, though. Yeah, he looks pretty good. I mean, I guess we just take both, right? We can take both. I'm going to take Malone first. I need linebacker more. Very raw, but also insanely athletic. So Jerry Malone's going to be one of our picks. Ooh, 103 true talent. Very fast, though, but kind of no choice, but need to start him. Could win Rookie of the Year, you never know. And then with this pick, we're going to look at running back. I think Lehman is who we're taking, but actually, let's just go by favorites. I also want to take a look at all of our options, which you can see a lot of speed at some other positions like Felton, Brandon Felton. A lot of B's across the board. It says fast, but you look at left side, it says solid speed. So I don't know if I truly believe the things I'm being told here. And then you also have Jarrett, Floyd Jarrett, B, ball carrier vision. His ratings kind of suck. You know what? I'm going to go Lehman. Don Lehman looks the best, I think. True talent 109. It looks like we're not going to be drafting a replacement running back today, although we do have another pick here in the 32, so probably will look to a running back again if it's there. McGee, he was like the worst of the worst, wasn't he? It's actually not terrible. I'm going to take him anyways. I need running back pretty bad. 69! Normal dev. I seen 69 true talent. I was like, oh, maybe. We got ourselves a 4.28 40 wide receiver named Barnes. That's who we're going to take with our final pick of the draft. 118 true talent. Pretty damn fast. Don't know what the overalls are like, but considering we also have extra, first-round picks going forward in the future, a pretty good draft, I think. A decent draft class. A lot of hiddens. A lot of positions that we needed players at. 75, 74, 75, 75. Drops down a little bit from there, but not bad. Everyone's in the 70s, which is great. It's not really anyone to write home about, though. We kind of expected solid players, but, basically all-star development trait. There might be a couple of superstars in there for all we know, but, this wasn't like players that were going to jump out at you. They were just solid contributors that, we're hoping can be the franchise at their different respective positions. O-line was obviously a huge need. Chad McGavin, he'll be a starter. We landed 2 hidden linemen, which is, pretty good. Last year we had one lineman, and he was normal. Start of. Guess while we're here, we'll take a look at Mr. D'Angelo McCallum. Hidden development trait. A little raw, can't lie, but also insanely athletic with that size. Hidden development trait. What is it going to be? Superstar? I'm feeling superstar. I'm feeling wrong. But automatically a starter without a doubt. We need linebacker very much so. And Malone was normal dev, wasn't he? He's not bad, though, for a 71 overall. Very athletic. Raw, but usable. And looking at Bird, he was actually an 80 overall. I don't know if he's generational, but looks pretty damn good to me. Those short and medium accuracies kind of tell me he might have actually been X Factor, but what am I supposed to do? Give up on Drake Maye already? He was only star, so I don't really hate it too much. And then I need to look at that running back that for some reason I kind of forgot about. Where was he? It was Josh Sanders. He was a 77 over. Okay, he was normal dev in fairness. 77 overall. I did not even expect him to be that fast. That would have been a decision. That would have been a who the hell do you start decision. Oh well, not on our team, so it's kind of irrelevant. Here we go for Season 3. Drake Maye, you freaking better have a better year this year, because we passed on an 80 overall 2 times now for you, buddy. Well, actually, the first time I don't think we actually passed. I think we had no choice. The offensive line, obviously, Paris Johnson, the new left guard, with that big trade. I'm going to be honest with you. Unless the Cardinals really suck, which I don't feel like they will, I think we may regret that trade. I think we could have gotten more. Don't get me wrong. Paris Johnson's great. Stump is pretty damn good, too. He's a superstar youngster with 3 years left on his contract, but damn, he is actually really goated in fairness. But I still feel like maybe we could have got like a goated running back or something like that. It's never too late. If we end up going like, I don't know, 8 and 9 or something, we could easily trade that pick and a first-round pick for like a truly elite running back if we really wanted to. But the team is definitely getting better. I mean, it's an 89 overall left end, or right end, an 82 overall superstar left end, 84 overall DT already. The corners are great. The safeties are finally good. Linebacker, McCallum's a long-term guy. Malone could be a long-term guy. And then Tavai gets a dev up, maybe sticks around an extra season or two. Who knows? The team is definitely better every single season, even though last year we didn't really play like it. We went 2-15, which I was actually a little shocked by, I can't lie. Gonna still rock with the Rams playbook, I think, as I'm not really sure the reason why, but I am going to do it anyways. All right, $144 million we have to pay Gonzalez, which is a done deal. Douglas, I want Baker as our number 3, but I think Douglas isn't terrible. On Wenu, we'll have to see how he's playing, because we actually do have options now with our offensive line actually being pretty deep. And then Ryan Kelly, I think, is 100% gone. He's already 83 overall. He's going to drop down to, at best, 81 overall. Behringer is great, though, so we're going to go with a 3-year for him. 3-year 6, that's a steal for the way he's playing, at least. Gonzalez, 6-year deal worth 84. That's another steal. And then Douglas, I think you might let him go. Javon Baker's a little younger. He's still got another year on contract. We don't really need 4 wide receivers, do we? I mean, look, he didn't even play that much last year. Damn, we really ruined a great opportunity, huh? If you want to see Demario Douglas cook, just watch our damn Patriots franchise, the actual franchise where we're playing every single game. And then on when it was great last year, it's a little bit of a down year this year. We're past midseason, though. We're probably about 75% completion on the year. If I can do a 2-year at this price, I'd do it. That's fine. That's fine. A much better year, but we still might miss the playoffs. I think we have to win to have a chance. And if we lose, I think we're out of it. I'm pretty sure. And we do win and still miss. We go 10-7 and miss the playoffs as the freaking 8 seed. That sucks. That sucks a lot. But let's take a look. Booth was top 3 in yards, so there's something there. Might go to Superstar. Should go to Superstar. Really disappointing. A lot of win-loss. Won the last 3, though. Very strong finish, but unfortunately, we're in the AFC conference, and man, oh man, does it take a lot to make the playoffs here. Looking at Drake Maye, though, with his Ram scheme, definitely better, but still nowhere near perfect. Rushing, just, barely at 4 yards per carry. Booth was amazing. You really want that one wide receiver to do well, go with the Rams playbook. O-line was great. On when he only gave up 1 more sack for 5 games. Impressive. D-line, Bennett has had a crazy start to his career. 17 sacks. Young with 11.5. Morales a little bit better than last year. Barmore, it's not bad, not great. But McGill with 5 picks. Stump with 4. 3 for Gonzalez. 2 for McCallum. 1 for Jelani and Jerry Missing 2 kicks out of 23 is really good for Sly. One of them blocked as well. Way better year than last year. Behringer, 53.7 yards per punt. And a really disappointing, playoff barely missing season. No award wins for us on the MVP category. Defensive Player of the Year in total for Bennett. Rookie of the Year for McCallum. Best quarterback at number 9. Best running back, no. Best wide receiver at number 3. Best O-line at not on the list. D-line number 1 and 6. Linebacker, no. DB at 4. And then kicker at number 1. But yeah, 10-7 and missing the playoffs is pain. It is really unfortunate. We're going to have the worst draft pick of any team that didn't make the playoffs. It's really, really sucky. Chiefs and Eagles back at it again, just like they were in year 1. Super fun, riveting matchup, obviously. Super repetitive. Let's take a look who wins this one. Eagles won it with a pretty damn successful season last time, and they win again. New dynasty alert. Let's take a look at retirements. Would we have had any? Possibly, right? Aaron Jones for the Vikings. Seems a little early, but maybe not. Patriots, Andy Dalton, William Golston, some mentor-type players that are gone. No starters, though. What are we looking at for regressions and potential releases? So, O-line, I think like we said, we talked about Kelly going. I think that makes sense. 83 overall. Did we even see regressions yet? Maybe he actually went up in overall and then it counted the regression. Or we're just not seeing regressions yet. So maybe it's one more week away, or he's just goated. Other players, though, Booth obviously goes up in dev. May didn't go up in dev. Not really shocked by that. And, of course, Ramondre regresses hard. So running back, as we expected, we need to focus on hard. McCallum's a superstar. And then I think McKenzie went up in dev. He was only star dev, right? Chris McKenzie. Nice. So we have 2 superstar safeties. Sweet. Is Gonzalez still star? He is. So, I mean, really, DT, middle linebacker, outside linebacker, and the defense is set. So, 3 defenders and a running back? That might be it. 3 defenders and a running back, I think, is really where we stand, which is easily doable with that extra first-round pick. The 5th-year option for Drake May, we don't want to touch that. Douglas, I mean, that's just depth. Same with Mapu. I mean, we could, but I don't want to. Keon White, a lot of depth pieces going to be gone. I mean, that's really A-okay in my book. O-line, we have plenty of players. Joey Sly was great, so if he wants to come back on a 1 year, 4.5, that's a lot of money. He should stay, and he does. We'll bring him back. He had a great year. Why not? 121 into free agency. Linebacker, still a pretty big issue. What about the player meetings? Let's do this real quick. We might be able to get some boost. Ramondre, he had a huge boost the other season. What do we got? Changing motivations. What do we want? I want you to care about winning, I guess. So, is that, franchise? Championships? Because if so, his interest should be, number 1 by a mile, no? Either way, let's go into free agency, see what we got. Come on, let me spend some money. Tunsil. I mean, we kind of need O-line, but I'm not really liking it. Zaven Collins, he's really a super small bandage piece. Bryce Young is a free agent. That is definitely a new name. Did not expect that. Wicks, kind of a fun new name as well. Sky Moore. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anyone we spend money on here. There's really not much youth, and the main, kind of good veterans are basically all old linemen we just don't need. So, yeah, we're going to be potentially trying to trade for a proven running back if we can, or maybe some other team drafted, a really good young running back they're barely using that we could trade for. Either way, running back is hands down the number 1 positional need, and that's what we're going to be aiming for. And yeah, Arizona's pick was 10th overall, so that trade, clearly worth it. Clearly worth it. Without a freaking doubt. What about the standings? So what did they finish with? They must have finished, pretty poorly, obviously. They were 6-11 with a 3-game losing streak. Interesting. I mean, I'll take that pick. I will keep it in the back pocket for now. But I would like to go for running back, so find me a back, please. Wow, the Bengals still need a running back so bad. Damn, there is really not many options. So I'm going to end up trading a 3rd and 6th round pick for Jalen Wright off the Dolphins, who needs a contract. If he plays well, I'm willing to pay him. At the same time, though, still not going to completely take running back off my board. If there's a generational guy, I will take him, and I'll just pay both. You know, I'll just have 2 really good running backs for the next 4 seasons and really build this offense up. And we pull off another trade. We end up trading a lot here, though. We trade pick 18 overall, a 5th this year, a 2nd round, a 6th round, and a 7th next year, and then a 7th 2 years from now for Compton from the Bears, who is a 23-year-old superstar DT. Bennett is already one of the best young DTs in the league, and Compton is tied for 5th, or up there for 5th, for the best DT. So realistically here, we're looking at the best DT duo in the entire league. I still can't believe how Bennett, how good Bennett is, but best DT duo in the league, you have to assume that's going to help the D-line out tremendously. And even with that trade, we still have pick 10, which, of course, we're going to end up trading down because we need to get some extra value. We have no picks past 50 in the 2nd. We should be able to turn 10 into almost a whole draft worth of picks, though. All right, we have pick 10 overall. We have a couple of wide receivers, which I'm keeping the options open because obviously our wide receiver 2 and beyond hasn't developed super well. We also scouted the running back position pretty hard because obviously we didn't know what we were going to get with, at the trade or whatever in the draft. And obviously Worthen looks great, and obviously as a day 3, we have to grab him. So we'll have to make a trade down at some point. We also see Vaughn Austin, who is actually a speed-type wide receiver. Very likely we try to go for him. He's a 2 to 3, so we're going to definitely trade down to the late 1st or into the 2nd round. And DT/DN we don't need anymore, so that's probably going to be something we don't go for either. Linebacker is, though, so we're definitely going to be trying to look for some of these linebackers. I think, honestly, we could probably trade to, pick 10 in the 2nd round. I think that's what we're probably going to do. Also, just kind of curious to see what pick 10 could land us in general through a trade. I suppose James Cook would have been an option. Teller is actually not terrible, even though he's on the older side now. Linebacker Brewer is interesting. If that 2nd round was this year, there would have been a conversation internally, there would have been, but I think we're probably just going to trade down to the next round instead and keep going with the plan. Terrion Arnold, don't really need cornerback too bad. Brooks, they would have offered us. The pick 10 is really high for a running back, but still, the options might have been potentially there. Woolen's interesting. Yeah, I think we're going to trade down to 10 and get a whole bunch of draft picks if possible. Oh, man, I wish these picks were a little later. Could have snagged them both. All right, here we go. We trade a 1st this, a 4th next, a 5th the next year for, I think it's 18 and 51 from the Bears. We see the Bears still have pick 10 and 18. We got a couple of really interesting trades. The Philadelphia Eagles are willing to give us 64-96, a 5th, and then a 7th next year to move up to 19, which I think is really not bad at all. We had another offer as well that was kind of similar. Where the hell was it? You have the Buccaneers here. Yeah, I don't know what it is about the Eagles. They just get it. I don't know. It's like EA actually did kind of put that into the game because they dominate in the draft so much anyways lately that they're like, yeah, we're going to make it where the Eagles give you the best trade-ups as well because they just do well. They just draft well. They make moves well. That's just a good play. That's just a really good trade for us, and I'm obviously going to take that when it exists. I obviously want Austin. I think we can go even later. We even have that other guy that's still there. So I think we're going to try to get to 10 in the 2nd round. I'm really milking this pick, but we really need it to be milked. That's just, I don't know, sounds weird. I think we can get more from Minnesota. I think Minnesota's being stingy. All right, we had to trade a bunch of stuff, but we end up moving down with the Vikings, getting 40 and 72 for that trade. They move in, get themselves a 5th-year option player. I didn't even see who that was. It looked like McLaughlin, who I think was a DN that we had on our board as well. Hoping that that wide receiver's there, which if he is, and it seems to be, is going to make for an interesting conversation if this guy's halfway decent when it comes to Jalen Polk, who has really not shown a whole lot for us yet. Vaughn Austin, maybe the perfect slot, though, as well, is going to be our choice. Round 1 talent, 2 to 3 projection, but did fall a little bit, so maybe that dev isn't great. Or it's hidden dev. 96 speed, true talent of 13. Looks to be a pretty good player in my book. I think that's a good decision, especially with all those trade downs adding so much to this draft. All right, so we don't need a defensive tackle, obviously, anymore, but as far as best available picks goes, that might be the best available pick. We also have a tackle here. It looks kind of raw. Some of the other ratings look pretty good, but yeah, the pass block, finesse, and all that stuff doesn't look so great. Just had him on my list because those first 2 key ratings look pretty good as we learned more. Doesn't look so hot, obviously. We have the middle linebacker, Reddick, who is actually, a true talent lower than his actual grade, which is obviously not good. Then we have Jay Elliott. Elliott's been a decent name for DTs. Hit power good. I mean, I don't really need him, but maybe I go for him. I don't know. Let's go on to our pick. If somebody's there that looks good, we'll go for him. We have back-to-back picks here, so, I mean, we got 3 picks in this round. We really cooked up harder than we needed to with those trade downs, I'll be honest, but, I'd rather have too much talent and too many draft picks than to have not enough. Jay Elliott, why not? Get ourselves some depth. Pick 49 is Hidden Dev. I mean, he looked great to me, kind of giving me Cameron Jordan vibes. And here at 51, I might end up trading down, and then at 64, since it is basically a third-round pick, then I'll start taking players like O-line and whatnot. I think we're going to trade down one more time here, and the rest might actually be trade-ups. And here we go with Denver, pick 65 from 2027. So we get a couple of, random 5th and 6th, which we, to be fair, probably needed for that trade down. We also have pick 1 in the next round. So I think we're going to start working on the linebackers. Whoever the best available pick is going to be who we're going to take here with this pick. So I got to start getting these linebackers buffed up a little bit. I think it's pretty close because I don't know what that C looks like. I think Russell's the best looking player here. Steve Russell. I don't really like that athleticism, actually. Athleticism always doesn't tell you everything, but usually when someone's lacking in athleticism, they end up being a little bit of a lower overall. This guy does not. So Will Williams, very, original name. Don't really like the true talent, but we'll see. And he's Hidden Dev. So, true talent doesn't always tell the full tale of the tape. And realistically, we would want to probably replace Jelani Tavai. So, one more linebacker would probably do it. But yeah, this team is in a really good spot. I mean, it's just, it looks good. And then for the other linebacker, I think Greenfield looks the best. He's pretty athletic. He has the best key ratings. I mean, B block shed, B man coverage, or B zone coverage is great with A to C pursuit and tackle. That's who we're taking. He is true talent 17 and also hidden. We grabbed ourselves the starting linebacker unit as well. And we still have more draft picks. 72 is probably going to be a lineman. Don't really know how many linemen we actually need, though. Strong is the only guy that can actually kind of play multiple positions. None of them look super, guaranteed. I think Strong looks pretty damn good, though, so that's what we're going to take. 40 reps as well, 6'5". True talent, 9. Oh, but he's normal. True talent 9, but it's all for nothing for the most part. I mean, I think I'm happy with what we got. And then at 96, we're going to end up taking that running back who is a round 1 true talent. I think Worthen has shown his worthiness. Round 1 from a day 3, 6 overall. Unfortunately, another normal dev, but with Stevenson regressing as hard as... Well, actually, no, we have Jalen Wright. I was about to say, but with Stevenson regressing as hard as he is, he's still going to start now. It is going to be Jalen Wright, the trade piece, who doesn't need to be paid, but that's fine. He's not going to cost too much. Anyone else remaining? We could go for the 2 to 3 running back. We also do have a pretty fast wide receiver in Cody Barker. Not like amazingly fast, but fast enough. And I really like this build. He looks like one of those agility type builds, so I'm going to take him. I think UDFA is worth it. I thought he was true. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm about to say I thought he was true talent 6. It's true talent 10. Still really good. That's a good pick. Next pick is not available, unfortunately, but that's fine. We didn't really need anything else. I think we did well. Obviously, DT wasn't even that big of a need before trading for the guy from the Bears, but after trading, we didn't need him at all, and we still got another one. So our D-line is absolutely set. What do we got for players? 75 for the wide receiver, 73 for the DT, 72, 75, 76, 76, 76. A lot of 76s there near the end. Who would have thought that at the end of the draft, we'd kill it as hard as we did if we actually had that challenge on all the catching traits. Injury's a little iffy, which kind of sucks, but we would have gotten it because I think it's 75 plus overall past round 4, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at the dev of Mr. Austin, who is only star with that injury. I wonder if they even expect him to be anything. Like, do they even expect him to do much? What number 3 is kind of cool, I suppose. Everyone else, I don't really care too much about the offensive lineman. Well, actually, no, he was normal. Or did we grab 2? No, we only grabbed 1, right? I don't even know. But Elliott, really good finesse move. DT3, I'm not even sure why I'm checking his dev because he's just not going to play anytime soon. Maybe even the whole rebuild. Probably the whole rebuild, unless we just can't afford players, which is also quite a possibility, actually. Then you have Will Williams is going to just start at middle linebacker. Really good hit power. Little raw when it comes to block shed. Okay coverage, but yeah, very high ceiling with, some pretty good base ratings like tackle and hit power and obviously athleticism. Start at elementary. Would have loved to see a superstar there. Anyone want to show that they're a superstar? Greenfield, I'm feeling star, though, with Greenfield. I'll be real. Great block shed, quite the opposite of the other guy. Going to play that outside linebacker role. This linebacking group is finally with high potential, though, across the board. And yeah, star dev. I was feeling that. I was feeling star dev. I'll be real. And also, Barker had such a weird build, even though he's not going to start. I'm curious to see what he's like. He's also a white dude. This is like the perfect Patriots draft pick of old. Yeah, he's really good. He's a great slot-type player. Not a question about it. And then strong, even though he's normal dev, why not? We'll take a look. 6'5", 21. I mean, this would be a tackle in the future, so I'll probably just put him at left tackle for now. We technically do need someone right now, but I think we have 3 guards, so somebody can just move to center. And then running back, Troy Worthen. I still think that Jalen Wright should start. This guy has a lot of potential, though. I don't know. I'm going to take a look at Jalen Wright's yards per carry. If it looks pretty good, I guess I'll start Jalen, but if not, I might start Worthy because he could get Rookie of the Year, which means he can go straight to Star Plus anyways, and he's already not too far behind Jalen Wright regardless, and he's 3 years younger, so definitely intriguing to see. It sucks that Ramondre is being talked about like he's not in the room, but, it's time to move on, and Jalen Wright, his yards per carry, even as a backup, I mean, that's really bad. So I think Worthen will start. I think he's going to try to be the new power back on the team. And it sucks because Stevenson's still pretty damn good. The trucking and stiff arm is there, and so is the juke move, but the overall isn't, and that's unfortunately what matters most when doing these sims. All right, we end up trading Christian Barmore, sadly, off to the Rams for a 3rd and a 5th round pick, one of their highest needs. They actually were willing to give us a 24-year-old, 80 overall superstar wide receiver, but honestly, we don't really need that. We're that baller. We're now officially in Season 4, and we definitely have a lot of, lower overall guys starting. Admittedly, we have a running back who's a 76 overall rookie and a wide receiver that's a 75 overall rookie, but Booth was an even lower potential guy because he had a normal dev only, even though he was a 77 overall, I believe. But Austin is still a higher potential guy because of that star dev right out the gate, so definitely could be a glow up, maybe 81, 82 overall by the end of the season type of situation. And then defensively, a couple of young guys starting here too at linebacker, but D-line with that DT2 spot has massively upgraded. 85 overall is not the best we've ever seen at Season 4, the Season 4 point, but I suspect we could sneak into the playoffs. I think I might go with the Packers playbook, as I think that's been a very fair playbook this year. I think it's been a playbook that gives you pretty good numbers at most positions, but not, end-all, be-all perfectness. They have a different scheme now, apparently, but I think it was vertical zone. Was it vertical zone run? I don't even remember, but I think the scheme itself is what matters the most, not actually the formation. Well, I guess it is a scheme still, but you know what I mean? The playbook is more important than the scheme. Oh, I didn't realize that's what we're doing today. Corey Compton already proven his value. He's an X Factor. Holy crap, look how much money we have. 214 mil. We do have to pay Drake May and Chase Young and, Johnson and whatnot, but that's fine. We're going to pay all these guys. We can afford them all, even Baker if we want. I think we will let go Jelani Tavai and Rasheed Walker, obviously Peppers and Duggar. And even then, I still think we'll probably have at least like 70 million left. Well, easily. So let's take care of these contracts. Call it a day. 3 year 78. Boom. We still have 190. Even after Drake May, I mean, at this point, you got to assume he's the franchise. 6 year 246. Oh, we're going to have way more than I thought. 151 million. Let's do a 5 year, I think, for Paris. 5 year 80 is great for us. Jalen Wright, even if he isn't the starter down the line, I mean, that's good backup money. A 5 year 27.5 is really good. Polk, once again, we talked about it. Even if we don't use him as our number 3 going down the line, we can afford him. How we can afford Baker. Why not? Just have, keep everyone intact. I'm surprised he said no. We still have 121 mil. And it took long enough, but it looks like we will be headed to playoffs. Actually, I can't guarantee that because we actually missed at 10-7. We're 10-6 right now. We might miss again. Please tell me we're actually in the playoffs for once. It's already year 4. We have to be. We have no choice. They're struggling. They're like, I don't know how to decide this. 11-6. Okay, we have the home field advantage as well. We stole it over the Bills. This division looking really strong. 3, 5, and 7 for the seeds that take a spot each. Let's take a look at the schedule, see what we're looking like when it comes to the, how it played out. Lost the first 2, then had a 5-game win streak. Lost 1, won 2, lost 2, won 2, lost 1, won 2. So, for the most part, obviously winning more than we lost. Looking at the numbers, obviously no one in the top 3 for any position we're seeing, but that's obviously kind of expected, right? It's not easy to do that stuff. And Drake Maye, I gotta say, has been pretty bad. He's been pretty bad so far. Worthen we knew was going to be bad because he's a youngster with no overall. Vaughn Austin should be Rookie of the Year. Booth, pretty good year for him as well as the number 2. Baker was okay, even though I thought it was supposed to be Polk at number 3. And then Hilton did not have a great year. So Green Bay's scheme did not really do us much positivity-wise. Positivity? That sounds like something Ned Flanders would say. Positivity-wise. Defensively, one guy over 100 tackles. Pass rush Morales was unbelievable with 18 sacks. Compton was great at 12.5. Young was pretty good at 10.5. And then Bennett got robbed by Compton with 9.5. Picks were really down. Kicking, Sly was bad again. And then Behringer over 50 yards for punt. That is all that matters when it comes to saying, hey, is this guy good? I think he's good. Looking at the award wins, should win Rookie of the Year with Austin, which we did. Worthen was at number 3. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Greenfield misses it by 1 spot, unfortunately. Best QB, obviously not on the list. Best running back, obviously not on the list. Austin wins best wide receiver as well. Could go straight to X Factor. We'll see. O-line, no. D-line at number 2. Of course, also at number 6. Linebacker, no. DB, no. Kicker, definitely not. But the Patriots are in the playoffs, and it's about damn time we finally make the playoffs. Let's take a look at this storyline. We need all the help we can get. We are a good overall, though. 89 overall is, I think to win a Super Bowl, you really need to be at least 88, 89. So the fact that we are there tells us that, maybe we have a chance. I don't feel super great about it because it was pretty shaky, and the season stats didn't really look that good, so I can easily see us struggling, but what is it? Oh, we're going straight into the damn team thing again, aren't we? I hate this. I get it looks like there's a lot more going on, but it's just taking longer. But of course, we need our guys to stop the run, I guess. The Raiders, sort of, kind of, maybe not. Don't want to do the other ones because it's like +5 to block shed, everyone can get a use out of, but a plus to power or finesse, not everyone get a use out of because they might just be finesse guys and we went power, or vice versa, obviously. But here we are against the Raiders, who have Clifford, who I think was a generational quarterback. This could be devastating. Going to the end of the game, it's nothing of anything. 7-0, we get a good start with a touchdown. 14-3 now. 14-10, they finally get a touchdown. Huge touchdown before half. Usually you don't see that. Usually you struggle, and here we are winning by 18 against the Raiders. Not the hardest team to beat, but once again, they do have a really good quarterback, and it is not over yet, unfortunately. And it looks like they're going to have a chance, potentially, to win this game. They're driving down. It's taking them a little too long, and with 1 second left, I do not think they did it. The defense holds on, and we will win a playoff game in our first berth. Clifford was limited for the most part. Completion percentage is down. Touchdowns are down. Drake Maye, though, really good stuff. Just under 300 yards with 4 touchdowns passing. No picks thrown. Worthen for a rookie, that's pretty good. We see, guys in their 90s putting up those kind of numbers in the playoffs. The playoffs are just a different breed. Austin was amazing. Booth was, as good as he usually is. Sacks allowed. Andre James got cooked up. Who was it? Kyle Bennett and Alfonso Morales. His D-line is really good, though. I mean, we didn't even need Compton, to be honest. We could have just started Bennett, but still, with Compton on top of it, his D-line is ferocious. And they're all, other than Chase Young, non-real-life names. Usually you need a real-life name or two in there, and Chase Young's really not done that well compared to some of the other guys, but obviously good enough. But here we are on to the divisional round. Who is it against? The Bills, who we have seen do some things, have taken a new definition of truly the divisional round. And I thought it was a rainy one. It was just the shadows being weird. They get the first touchdown on the board. We drive down and get nothing. I don't like this start. 14-0. 21-0 at halftime. I don't see how you can come back from this. I don't see how it's physically possible. We get a field goal. Finally something, and man, the offense just got completely laid out. I mean, the defense wasn't great either, but 35-3. Headed into the final season. That wasn't even the championship round. That was just the divisional round, and we got smoked. Allen didn't even have that many yards, but he was very efficient with 4 touchdowns. We had, I think, not even we literally had 0 touchdowns. Their receivers aren't even that good. We got bullied. We got straight up bullied. Even their D-line was 10 times better than ours, which we're not used to seeing. Damn, that was a terrible performance. One of the worst playoff performances I've seen in a rebuild for us. Any Madden, let alone this one. That's tough. That is tough. Let's go to the Super Bowl, see what we're looking at. Got the Eagles and the Chiefs. Super fun, dude. This is like the third time they've played each other in-game. Not even counted in real life. Just in this rebuild. 3 matchups out of 4, I believe. Unbelievable. Still can't believe Drake Maye has just played like crap still. I might end up going with one of the meta playbooks like the Chiefs. See if that does anything for us, but probably won't. Let's take a look at our DevOps, see if we had any other than Austin, who is a superstar. I thought maybe he had a chance at X Factor. Worthen stays at normal, which is disappointing. I might even go all out for a running back. I know we paid right, and Worthen is, you know, the potential, but I mean, I kind of want to cut a corner here, especially since this is likely the last season we're going to do. Defensively, McCallum goes up in Dev, I believe, and so does... No, Bennett was already X Factor, so it's just McCallum that went up in Dev, unfortunately. Kind of a lackluster one. Oh, he was already superstar? Oh, wait, was that during the season Dev up? I can't remember. Or was he already superstar? I don't remember, but he's superstar. Whatever. Core storylines, we got a new message, which is going to be off-season workouts. Who are the players going to be? Drake Maye? Oh, obviously. Obviously, Drake Maye. Oh, crap. I don't know what his things are like. Like, they can't expect me to know everything, right? Like, I can't just like, oh yeah, I know the backup tackle. His personality trait is sexy. I don't know. Throwing on the run, accuracy off the... yeah, I kind of disagree. Throw power. That would be kind of sick. I don't know. I would say team player makes sense for him. Hey! Nice! I think we might have just cooked up. I think we might have... I'm not clicking that one. That press conference is always about the draft. It's always like, oh, you think you're going to win the draft? Huh? You think you're going to win the draft, buddy? But of course, you see Lad McConkey also going to be a free agent. What about this? Is it going to be changing someone's style as well? This, I mean, really doesn't matter. I mean, I'm always going to change it to team because that's probably the best way to re-sign someone. Motivation. I don't want income tax. I want you to care about winning. How about that? How about that? Okay, coach, I feel like I trust you. Okay. This player will decide, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, that's sweet. Don't care about income tax. I can't move the team, dude. Compton, $30 million. This is actually a 5th year I'm going to do because I know the contract's going to be 36 to 38 per year. And then Booth, obviously, there's no point in doing that. $40 million per year is more than he's going to get. Morales, probably about the same. So I might as well just wait and just, actually pay him right away. Wait and pay him right away are two opposite things, but you know what I mean. Wait this moment to re-sign him next year. It's very confusing. I get it. I said things that I don't understand either. We do have extra draft picks, so I think it is time to just go for... Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs, how are you? I'm not even ready to spend money. I'm just going to go for Jahmyr Gibbs, I think. Lad McConkey and Terrion Arnold also look great. They're free agents. Gibbs has not played well. Year before was good. This last year wasn't great, but... I imagine looking at him being a 90 overall right now, he just got to that 90 range, meaning he's probably going to start cranking out those 4 yards per carry seasons. So I am willing to pay him a lot. I'm not saying I'm going to pay him $20 million per, but if it comes down to it, I may pay him $20 million per. Okay, a 357 puts us number 1 on the list. It is about close to $20 million per, but not quite. Open market, dynamic back. I think that's perfectly fine, right? I think that's not bad. Terrion Arnold being in a free agent as well is kind of rough. McConkey, they got rid of an X Factor? That's crazy. Rashawn Gary, Cooper Beebe. We kind of need a lineman, but I don't really want to pay one. Javon Bullard, safety's fine for us. This is actually a really good free agent group, though. Like, this is really solid. I want to take one look at our O-line before I decide to, hey, this is who we're going for. Just Gibbs. There might be a lineman vacancy. Left tackle is obviously open now, but Strong might be good enough to just fill. 75 overall. Not really. You can move Paris Campbell over, though. Paris Johnson. Overton could also play left guard if we needed him to. We'll see. I really hope we get Gibbs, though, obviously. Everyone else is optional. I might actually go for... it's $13 million per year? I might actually go for Cooper Beebe, who actually was drafted as a guard, wasn't he? 3 or 42. This is the last season anyways, likely. So let's just get this. Please, Gibbs. Yes, we add ourselves Jameer Gibbs and Cooper Beebe. All right, going to be heading into the draft shortly. Thinking about what we need future-proof wise, it's mainly defense. It's, like the DT Bennett needs a contract. McGill needs a contract. I think Stump needs a contract. It's in Morales needs a contract. It's really just contract-based, and it's mainly defense. So we're going to probably be future-proofing at those positions, specifically DT, because we know, even though Bennett's godly, that DT costs a fortune, like almost $40 million per. So obviously that is going to be a position that we are going to try to make sure we have extra players. I wish we already have a backup that's good. So it's really just going to be kind of like, I don't know, just pick whoever we think is good. It's not going to really matter because there's really just not an open spot on this team. Also, I will say, we've obviously crapped on EA a fair bit, and it's not revolutionary, but I do love this top story stuff where they create these little stories talking about how, it's like, oh, I'm really hoping we draft a wide receiver tonight, says Jake Clifford of the Raiders. And, they show you some of the trades and, Ronald Robertson is the top pick on almost every board tonight. That kind of stuff. I do like this, little ticker. You can see, what do I want to see upgrade tonight? Upgrade or pass rush from Lattimore. It'd be really cool if that actually is correlating to their morale or, boost. Like if you actually draft a wide receiver in the first round or a edge rusher or D lineman for Lattimore in the first round, they actually get a boost. That'd be really cool. But yeah, there's some things I like that they added this year with that kind of stuff. And of course, the storylines, they've added so many different ones, and the breakouts aren't static before. We just get a bunch of different types of breakouts. So it's not like, oh, I got a running back breakout, I know what I need to do with that. It's like, oh, I really hope I get a lucky one, or, I get something easy, whatever. But let's head on into this draft where we're likely going to just be taking best available, whatever, at pick 28. All right, I really wanted a tight end because our tight end needs a contract, I believe, and he really hasn't been too great. He's a decent overall, but it would have been nice to find somebody that's better. But realistically here, I'm not really seeing that. I think with a cornerback, McGill we're going to try to re-sign, obviously. With a cornerback needing to be paid, maybe you look around and see if you got any other options. Play, safety. You could play corner, perhaps. Curious about Ramon Nixon or Jadarius Hayes, perhaps. You got an A awareness there as well from Hayes. B zone coverage. Not as fast as I was hoping. And then we, of course, maybe we go D-line. We go, of course, have Nixon, who's 22. B hit power. Left side solid is not looking good. Yeah, maybe we do go D-line instead. Hyde's actually a D-lineman, but he's also edge, sort of, right? A power move. 6'4", 21 years old. Yeah, Hyde looks great. Caleb Hyde. Probably going to be normal. True talent 20. Yeah, I was about to say. Felt like one of those normal types, but that's what it is. Pick 9 in the third round. Probably going to take O-line here. 28 in the third is the next pick. It'd be nice to maybe grab another linebacker as well. So what do we got here? It is all O-line. Want someone with versatility? Do you go with one of these guys, Ramsey or Clark? Clark looks really good. And then Ramsey also looks pretty good. He's guaranteed to be great at pass block. The rest is a little iffy though. I'm gonna take one more look because I kind of like that one-sided affair here. Clark looks good too though. I'm gonna take Clark. He's 21. Why not? 32, true. Nice, that's fine. That's all I care about is that hidden dev. And I did not expect a linebacker to still be here. He's really fast straight line, so we're going to go with Castillo, 48 true talent, normal dev, and 91 speed. We trade 2/5 this and a 7th 2 years from now to the Panthers in the start of the 4th round, as we're going to be grabbing that 23-year-old round 1 to 2, day 3 type guy. Super strong, looks promising. He's 23, but that's fine. When their true talent's good, it's worth it. Hidden dev, 91 strength, it's worth it every day. And I will say, compared to previous Maddens, players do develop a little bit better this year, so it's not terrible going for a 23-year-old. In the past, it feels like it's just not worth it. But this year, you still get pretty good progression. Take it for our Saints franchise where we traded for Joe Milton and we're using him, so, it's a little easier to do that this year. Kind of want to just go for best available pick with these types of picks. Let's see if there's any speedsters. Pro day. You have Potter, but he's not really that fast. I think maybe you just Go with that 6'4" guy. Why not? Matt Jackson looks so raw, but it's around 7 for a 1 to 2 or a 2 to 3. I mean, promising maybe tight end. Who knows? And here is the draft recap. That wide receiver wasn't that great, but the rest were actually pretty good. I know Hyde was a normal dev, but still 21 years old at 75 overall. Pretty good base rating. Power move is 78. Speed and excel is pretty good. Strength is pretty good. Block shed's pretty good, for an edge type. He's got some really good traits as well. At 275, you can almost argue interior, but yeah, I mean, he's not a bad player. Obviously, we're just getting some value there, some depth. O-line, maybe there's some hiddenness. That is superstar, but don't really care too much. This Castillo guy is great, though. Press kind of sucks. Catching's decent. Man coverage is awful, but zone and block shed are really good for a rookie, and yeah, fair enough. Not a exciting draft, but really, getting Beebe and Gibbs was the main goal in the offseason, and we got those guys, so I like our chances. This is the most complete roster we've had, obviously, since the start of this thing. We should be in the 90s. Very close to, if not. Also, we're about to get a boost, it seems, for our quarterback, Mr. Drake Maye. Back from all-season workouts, coach. How did it go? I worked on throw power and breaking sacks. My trainer said my morale had a lot to do with the progress. I'm assuming your personality did too. So, I mean, we got the right personality type. Will he actually get throw power upgrades? Oh, my God. That's insane. That is, like, game-changing. We don't see throw power upgrades, like, at all. That's kind of crazy. Like, +3 to a rating you don't see boosts for, like, ever. Putting him at 97 throw power now and almost a 90 overall. That's massive. Break sack, who gives a damn, but, like, 94 to 97 throw power is wild. All right, Season 5, potentially the last season. Sometimes we go a 6th, just if there's potential, and we came really close. But, yeah, the team looks pretty good. Austin is at 86. Booth's at 90. Hopefully both of them are 90 plus by the end of the year. Same with May. He's 1 overall off. Gibbs, the highest overall running back we've had on the team ever since. Wide receivers, backups-wise, 3 and 4 and beyond are great too. 78 plus overall all the way to wide receiver 5. Tight end 1, would have loved to see a little bit quicker development, but he also didn't start the whole, rebuild, obviously. Offensive line, center could use a little bit of work, but overall, everyone's basically an 85 overall plus. And probably will be by the end of the year if they aren't already there. Safety solid, linebacker solid, middle linebacker use a little bit more overalls, but still solid. D-line's one of the best, maybe the best in the league, especially at DT. Corners are, a top 5 duo, I would imagine. We talked about that's where we were hoping they would end up. Considering McGill is number 5, it's pretty safe to say that Gonzalez, who's probably at least 11, if I had a guess. Maybe a little lower, we'll see. I think that's a top 5 duo, right? 11. Man, I know things. I just know things. Oh, wow, I didn't even know this was a thing. Wow, okay. I mean, I get it. I understand that it's kind of cool, but man, that sucks. Lost 3 catching traffic, and short route running because Hilton was ass. Ooh, I don't like this. $104 million. We talked about how expensive DTs are. 38.1. That's why we went with that 5th-year option. McGill is also asking for a lot of money, but it's only $25 million per year. You're evaluating a guy that's $13 million less at a pretty important position as well. So I think with these, you always go in order of difficulty to draft, hardest to replace, which means that for sure it's edge rusher first, right? Morales, that's expensive, but in today's market, not really. 80 million per. 80 million left over after that. Obviously, wide receiver would be next on the list of difficulty to replace. 6-year 153 is actually not bad either. It seems like everyone under the sun is getting like 34 million per. Safety, not the easiest to replace, but I also can't afford 20 million per year. And then Hilton dropped off a little bit here. I think you replace him as well. This is the year. You know what? No matter how close or far we get, I think we gotta. This is the end. This is the last season. Us losing big names like Stump, probably Bennett, and Hilton and Onwenu. If this isn't the year, then what year is it? I sound like somebody that just woke up from a coma. All right, head to the playoffs no matter what. We're not going to have the bye week, as I think the Chiefs might be undefeated. It was a really good season, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are undefeated, so you're never going to be able to beat that. Finished out strong with 2 wins. Did lose to the Chiefs, obviously, and nope, they lost one of their games right near the end. The Colts might have. Nope, they did not. We were number 2 seed. So fair enough. We at least got the 2nd seed. Booth cooked up just after getting paid as well. Usually you see the opposite of that effect. But let's take a look at the season. Lost one, and then, we won one, lost one, won two, lost one, won three, lost one, won four, lost two in a row. So it was basically like win like two, lose one, and then, put another one on there. So it was like 33% better every single time. I don't want to go in there yet. I want to take a look at these numbers. I almost just went right into the game. I'm getting excited. Went with the Chiefs offense, and man, is it still goated. Drake Maye, 4,600 yards, 42 touchdowns, 11 picks, 71% completion percentage, 112.6 passer rating, the best obviously by him. And even though Gibbs is in the 90s, I think the fact that he's a short running back is going to catch him again. I don't know why. It was always with like a guy like DeAndre Swift was a great example for a long time in Madden, where he never did well. It's like the short backs just suck in sim. I don't know what it is, but Booth was amazing. Hilton was pretty good. Baker was decent. Austin was like non-existent. Offensive line wasn't that great, but I've seen worse. Wait, somebody cooked up, no? Wait, what happened here? Oh, it glitched out. We can't see this guy, so... McGavin, the center, seemed to have given up a lot of sacks this season. Is it going to show me if I go in here? How many sacks did he give up? 12 sacks allowed for a center is unbelievable. The defensive line, though, Compton cooking up with 23.5 sacks, 16.5 for Morales, and then Bennett, who needs a contract, 14.5. Chase Young at 5 picks for Stump, a couple picks for the other guys. Evan McPherson, the new kicker. He wasn't that great. I can kind of see why the Bengals let him go. Behringer just barely over 50 yards per punt. He's letting it slip. He's letting it slip. Looking at the yearly awards, Mahomes wins MVP. We get Offensive Player of the Year with Booth, though. Defensive Player of the Year with Compton. Morales right behind him. And a couple of Steelers right behind them. And then, of course, Bennett back behind him. So, in the top 5, 3 players, which is great. Best QB at 4. Best running back, definitely not. No, number 10 is what to say. Maybe. Number 1 for Booth, though, wide receiver, obviously. O-line, no. D-line at number 1, 2, 4. Linebacker, no. DB at number 7. And then kicker, not on the list. So, some ups and some downs. Overall, a good season in the playoffs. If we lose to the Broncos, it definitely was never meant to be. This is a really low overall team. I don't care if they have Purdy. Going to the end of the game... Looks like we got to stop right away for a touchdown, basically, which is nice. 7-0, 14-0. The Broncos aren't going away, though. It's only a 7-point game. Second half, we're up by 14. One more touchdown should do it, though, the way the defense is playing. But it's still not any, it's still anyone's game. And there it is. That is game over. Denver, not the best team in the world, so I'm a little worried that it wasn't even stronger of a performance. But still, we won by 14 in the playoffs. It's good enough. We limited Purdy to 1 touchdown and just barely over 160 yards. Obviously, Drake Maye, really good performance there. 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Gibbs has been terrible. But what can you do? The guy's in the 90s. He's got great ratings. If I had a running back like Gibbs in a user franchise, it would be wraps. As long as he doesn't get hurt, it would be so easy. He's so good at catching. He's insanely fast. He's got all the juke moves in the world. He is a really good back. And yet, in Sim, they're like, too short. And I'm not going to say that Gibbs is going to be a great running back, like an all-time great, but there's been a lot of all-time great running backs that are pretty short. Some guys you think they would have been taller, but they're, maybe not 5'9", but pretty damn close. But we got ourselves a little bit of a classic matchup. The Colts and the Patriots have had themselves some playoff games in the past. Obviously, the old Manning days. 17-3, a really good start for us. That could be game already. 24-3, of course, we see the Chiefs on the bottom there. The Bills took care of us, so... I don't like that matchup at all. I don't like seeing either of those teams as the next up, if you will. We get to the championship round, though, which I consider to be a rebuild win. Championship round is really tough to get to, obviously, especially without a bye week. Drake Maye, 4 touchdowns. Anthony Richardson limited hard in touchdowns and threw a pick. Rushing is terrible for both sides, but at least ours is a little better, I guess. But yeah, we're basically just going to have to accept that we have no run game this entire rebuild. McGill with a pick. Our highest... yards per carry season, I think, might have been 4 on the dot by Stevenson. Maybe 4.1, I think, but that's really bad. I consider 4.0 yards per carry, unless you're like a power back that gets so much work in the red zone. I think that's like the base minimum. 4.0 is like base minimum to be considered average, let alone like above average. And, of course, it is the Chiefs. Let's take a look at how they got here. Obviously, they had the bye week, so they didn't really have to play many games to do so, but I don't like it. I don't like it. We, of course, won against the Broncos. They had to beat the Bills, and they did so easily. If the Bills destroyed us and the Chiefs destroyed the Bills, I mean, I'm not no 2-2 equals loss kind of expert, but I don't feel so good about this, even though we're a higher overall than them. I don't like it. I really don't. Ooh, but I like a snow game. I want to play one of these in our damn franchise. Obviously, with the Saints, you know, that division's not really the most snow-heavy, especially with a lot of domes. But our Patriots franchise, not playing a snow game last season was disappointing. And obviously, so far, haven't seen one this season either for it. So, 7-3, defense is doing as well as it has up to this point. And we are giving the Chiefs a show. 28-10, it's still not over, though. It's the Chiefs. Oh, I think it's over now. Damn, it's still not over. Defense did its job, though, and we're going to move on to the Super Bowl. 42-24. The Chiefs are so goated in Sim. To limit Mahomes to a game like that in Sim is basically like beating God. In this realm, he basically is. I mean, it's just, they always give the Chiefs. Like, how many Super Bowls has he been in this one? 3 rebuilds? Or 3 Super Bowls in this rebuild so far? Hilton cooked up, which is great. Austin was a lot better than, you know, his season average was. Booth was solid. Baker got involved. It's a good team effort. Offensively, we were great. Sacks, 2 for Morales, 1 for Compton Young. Selvey with a sack. A pick for McGill, a pick for Leo Chanel. Perfect kicking. And a dub over the Chiefs? Who said it's not possible? Well, probably me, to be honest. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong sometimes. All right, going against who in the Super Bowl? Is the Eagles a lot as well. It is the Falcons. Okay, I got to see who they beat for sure. I mean, they probably have some quarterback that they're not supposed to have, right? Buccaneers with Rookie of the Year. I want to see their quarterback real quick. They've got... well, I mean, technically, but it's not like a crazy good one. It's Bo Nix, who's good, but not like elite. Wide receivers are pretty good. Obviously, they still have Pitts. Bijan's great. They got a lot of weapons on offense, I got to say. I don't know what that defense looks like. You know what? I want to take a look, actually. They're an 88 overall across the board. We got to look at our opponents more often, especially when it's the Super Bowl, at least. But, yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence. Okay, that's another guy that maybe shouldn't have. Rook, fair enough. Saxton. Javalani Tavai. Okay, that's automatic. And Bentley. Oh, it's over. And Uche. They've got the whole damn Patriots linebacker unit. Yeah, it's over for us. When they have former players of yours, you know it's over. You've already lost. Might as well not even play this match. Let's be real. But let's take a look at the win-loss, how they got here. Obviously, I would assume they did not have the bye week. They won against the Vikings by 6. They won against the Cowboys by 17. That's pretty impressive. Then they beat the Giants by 10. I mean, if you were a betting person, you see the way these games kind of unfolded, you'd probably feel pretty confident betting on us, but of course, it's a rematch against the Falcons in the Super Bowl. Who knows what could happen? Drake May gets the dev up. So does Hilton, of course, a guy we kind of pushed aside and said, we don't want him anymore. Of course, he's goated. Obviously, May, with all the morale boosts, is basically 99 every accuracy, which is awesome. Who else do we have a dev up for? Booth goes to X Factor. Austin just misses out of being a 90 overall. And then looking at the defensive side of things, Stump goes to X Factor as well, which, you know, it doesn't change anything. We can't afford that position. Can't afford really anything, and you can't afford a safety. It sucks, but it's just the way it is. Let's go into this game and see if we can win ourselves a Super Bowl with the Patriots. Here it is for all the marbles. Oh, God. Huge touchdown by the Falcons. We bounce back, though. It's 7-all. It's looking like a lot closer game than any of the other playoff games, which is, I don't know how I feel about it. Not good. Second half, we get a field goal. We get a touchdown. It's all 17, all tied up now. It's going back and forth. We got to slow sim this. I think this is their ball. No, it's not. It's ours. 4th and 3. Kick that field goal. Up 3. We get the stop. We get a safety. Oh, no. That could be it. That could be it. 4th and 3. We get the stop. It's a 1-point game. We have a huge drive. A touchdown. It's going to need to be a touchdown and a 2-point for the Falcons to tie this one up and go to overtime. Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? They do. 22-yard touchdown they needed, and they got it. But they don't get the 2-point, and we win the Super Bowl by 2. Wow, there was a lot of 2s involved in this one. Is that Dolph Lundgren? What's going on here? But unbelievable. The Patriots win another one. Who wouldn't want to see it? Of course, that Gatorade jug filled with Super Bowl rings. But obviously, we win the Super Bowl. Who's wearing 46? Don't tell me that's... No, it wasn't Bo Nix. I don't know who the hell's wearing it for him. But Drake Maye and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions. I would say once again, but obviously it's, the Patriots themselves once again, not really him specifically. I didn't know how to feel about this because we built a really good roster semi-early. Like, we had a lot of, core pieces, but the overall wasn't really there. It's like we had a lot of potential and we just weren't there yet. Looking at the QBs, though, I'm not really sure I guess the average depth of chart. Oh, yeah, the average is way lower for me. It's not even close. Rushing, Gibbs was still terrible. But, you look at Bijan, right? Look, obviously our D-line's insane, so that plays a factor, and linebackers are insane. The safeties are great, corners, and all that. But Bijan had 4.5 yards per carry on 17 carries. So how is a guy like Gibbs, who's nowhere near as versatile and doesn't have the dev or even the overall of Bijan, going to do that, Of course, looking at the receivers, team effort as we've been expecting. Who's 91 yards? They snuck in there. Callaway with a 72-yarder. Chase Young, 6 sacks. Oh, my God. We had over 10 sacks in that game. The defensive line was relentless. Boulware they had to pick with, and then Greenfield we had to pick with. Aubrey missed a field goal, which was all the difference. How long was this thing? From 50-plus, in fairness. Wow, what a game that was. But we win the Super Bowl. Successful rebuild. It took the whole damn shebang for yards, but we got it. We did it. Success has been achieved. Yeah, of all the games for it to be really close, too, it's right at the end and against the Falcons. I don't know how these storylines keep, lining up. Almost overtime against the Falcons of all teams in the Super Bowl as the Patriots. That'd have been kind of wild. But let's take a look at how the players developed. Of course, Drake Maye, that morale is crazy high. Still really good, though. 92 overall, 97 throw power because of that +3 to throw power offseason, which is ridiculous. 94 deep accuracy, 91 medium accuracy, that's not even close to 90. That's 87 short accuracy. Awareness is only 81. Throwing the run is 86, which is good enough. 93 for the play action, 94 for the under pressure, which is great. 85 for the break sack, which is pretty good. Speed at 86. And obviously just a really solid player. Had himself a really good season in the playoffs. He didn't play really many hero ball situations, just, did enough to win. Outplaying his opponent most of the time. Gibbs, 94, speed, 93 excel. Like I said, I don't know how this isn't, I guess break tackles only at 84, but I don't know how this isn't a player that's putting up well over 4 yards per carry. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. He's got catching on top of it, obviously. Juke ability is crazy. Speed is crazy. This would be such an easy guy to put up crazy numbers with. It's just, it would be so easy. Booth, 94 overall. What is he not good at, right? His short route's the worst he has, which is 88. I don't know. Was that his speed in Excel? It feels like Excel was lower than that, but obviously unbelievable. Great juke ability ratings. Where's the trucking? 55. That's terrible, but... yeah, he's great. He's really good. Carrying is crazy. Change direction for a guy his size, great. His jumping kind of sucks, but that's all right. Jumping really doesn't matter. It's all about how tall you actually are. Jumping is just irrelevant of a rating in the entire game, pretty much. Vaughn Austin, short route's not great. Medium route's not much better, but very good catching, very good deep route. Obviously athletic, so you're getting that speed demon, if you will. Wide receiver 3. I guess we'll take a look at Javon Baker and Mr. Jalen Polk. They weren't bad. It's just they weren't developing quick enough. And while we're here, we'll take a look at Polk as well. Already a higher overall, already a higher dev in our Patriots franchise. So, what can you say about that? Let's take a look at the tight end, Mr. Hilton. Ahmad Hilton, 6'4", superstar dev. Obviously, speed hasn't improved. Catching's really not that good, by the way. What's his archetype? Possession? And his catching sucks? His catch of traffic and spectacular are pretty good. Route running, not bad, but... yeah, kind of a weird build. I went to only an 86 overall, but I guess I'll take a look at him since he's a real-life, Patriot. Pass block finesse isn't the best, but everything else is actually really good. And, kind of underrated. A little sleeper pick there. Anyone else? Nah, not really any players from real life from this team. Let's take a look at Stump, the guy we traded for using pick 1 overall. I felt like we could have gotten better value, but you know what? All in all, Stump turned out to be a pretty damn good player, didn't he? Yeah, I think he was worth it. I think he was absolutely worth it. Then we look over at McKenzie, who is, also really good. Zone coverage of 88. Very young player, obviously, and safeties are great. One of the best safety duos we've had, CPU generated wise in this entire Madden so far. I'd say Greenfield coverage is pretty bad, but his block shedding's obviously great. Speed is, decent enough. Excel is obviously great as well. Then we look over at outside linebacker McCallum, the opposite side of him. 6'3", another block shed guy. I mean, you just have like a really good run stop unit, right? Like you have to go through the middle to really do anything because of these outside linebackers, and you can't do that because of these two DTs are almost 99 apiece. Middle linebacker Will Williams is a little bit more balanced, a little bit better in coverage, but still more balanced. Really athletic. He can kind of do it all, flies around. This is a perfect defense, honestly. This is maybe the most perfect defense we've ever really built. Chase Young, he's a 91 overall, still going strong even at 29 years old. Look at those ratings, though. What's his archetype? Is it finesse? Yeah, it's speed rusher, man. The speed rusher upgrades are so good. So damn good. Who else do we have? We have Morales, the X Factor, 91 overall on that position. Also really basically 99 across. And yeah, that speed rusher upgrade again, just doing its job. I think anything but run stopper is pretty good for the D-line, in fairness. Bennett, who was great throughout. Obviously, Compton's kind of overshined him a little bit. Guy that we would be losing, but yeah, look at how insane he is. Just unbelievable. So good. Take a look now at, of course, Compton, who is also another trade piece. Came to us already a pretty high overall, in fairness, 89 overall superstar, but now he's an X-Factor. That strength is insane. Another guy that we had to pay that we probably won't be able to afford. But we won the Super Bowl, so that's kind of irrelevant. McGill, we obviously re-signed because he's just a really tall, solid corner. I mean, look at how good he is. 93 speed, 99 man, 95 zone, 99 press, 99 play rec. He is just the perfect cornerback. 95 awareness. Smart as can be, talented as can be. And then we look over at Mr. Gonzalez, who's a 91 overall, who has a lot less zone coverage, but still really good as well. I mean, you can kind of tell that he was going to be outshined by McGill pretty early on because of that X factor, and he kind of was. Behringer, I guess he's a real-life Patriot. Let's take a look at him. Punters matter, too. 95 kick power, I have no idea what he starts at, but I think it's a little lower than that. 93 maybe would make, it sounds a little more right to me. But either way, that's going to be the realistic style rebuild of the New England Patriots. If you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I do appreciate continued support. I do on the channel. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, PKR Plays for non-Madden content. And that's kind of it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya. Also, another shout out to the members of the channel. Appreciate you guys a ton. If you guys want to join, it is next to the subscribe button. Also next to the channel. And yeah, that's basically it. See ya.